How you doing?
Doing all right, sir. How about yourself?
Good.
Great.
So what brings you in here today?
Um, just having, some issues or I guess thoughts, about my divorce and some of the things that have partaken in my life since then.
So what exactly what's going on with you and your spouse?
Well, there was just some infidelities in the relationship, and it kind of just took a toll on me. Trying to forgive, trying to, still be a father in my kid's life. Now dealing with, being single now, and the financial things that kind of enabled me to do the things that I wanted to do or want to do or need to do, at least for my kids and myself, so.
Now, how old are your children?
My daughter is 12, she'll be a teenager this year, and my son is 9.
Okay. Now, how has divorce had an effect on those two?
I think they really do take it hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking a long time for them to adjust. I mean, it's been about 2 years now, and it still seems like they're not where they would like to be. They're just not accustomed to where they once were. I mean, the marriage was almost like 10 years, so 10 years versus 2 years of them trying to adjust to a new life. It's different when you don't see mom and dad together.
So does it? How much different is it for them? Like, God, to me, it's a big culture shock for them.
Yeah,
of course.
From seeing your father every day, 7 days a week. When he goes on vacation, you're going on vacation. When you're scared, you get up and you call for him, or you want to lay in the bed with him, or things like that. Or, but now you see I'm getting them every other day, or every other week. So within a 2-week span, I'm probably seeing my kids maybe 5 to 7 times versus in a 2-week span when I was seeing them 14 out of 14 days, and then there might be some times where I have to stay at work longer where I can't get the kids, or their mother might be going somewhere, taking them somewhere where I might not be able to see them. So, and us not doing the things that we once were doing. I mean, every week we was doing maybe 2 family outings a week. We might go to Dave & Buster's on a Wednesday and bowling on a Thursday or something, and then do something on the weekends, or planning for more vacations, or just having fun time. Just even playing video games with my son, just even at home, or or letting my daughter paint my nails or something clear. I don't know different colors.
So I know divorce is a big issue, but I know it's affecting you emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other ways it's affecting you, maybe at work or with the family, her side of the family?
I don't really talk to her family like I did because, well, first of all, I'm on the west side of town now instead of the east side, and that's where most of her family reside. So I don't really see them as much. I mean, I still actually go to church with her parents and
Right.
1 or 2 of her sisters, So, for the most part, I mean, we're copacetic. I mean, I don't have no ill will towards them, and, it wasn't my doing that caused the divorce. So, I mean, I didn't do anything bad, I'm sure I had issues or something, but I didn't do anything that was egregious towards the family in that aspect.
So who was the main culprit, so to speak, as far as the divorce? Or was it just mutual in a sense?
I mean, well, she had her infidelities. I was
Right.
still willing to forgive and move on, and I encouraged us doing therapy together to do the rebuild and things like that. And she didn't want no parts of it at that time, you know. So
So she was okay with the marriage crumbling, so to speak. She was okay with it.
that's what it looked like. She actually filed for divorce. I didn't even file for it. You know, I was willing to work it out and work through it. She didn't want that. She wanted who she wanted or what she wanted at the time. So, you know, I wasn't going to wait forever, you know, or allow things to her to do whatever she was still going to do and me just sit back and wait. So I had to move on, which I'm fine. I'm okay. You know,
Yeah.
I still wish that things would have been different, only because of my kids. You know, only because, you know, I never thought that I would be divorced. You know what I mean? I just wanted who I wanted. That was who I wanted forever. You know, of course, like I said, any relationship has issues, but it was never to the point where I ever thought that we would get a divorce, or it was never to the point where I felt like I would cheat on her. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. I might have been mad on some days, but
I think you shouldn't even feel guilty, because at the end of the day, she had her mindset,
yeah.
and
I mean, I still just
couldn't
feel,
change it.
yeah, I still feel that, you know,
You could.
she was cheating on me
Mhm.
because of something that I was or I wasn't doing. You know, so I feel, I mean, I've always asked her to just communicate with me. You know what I mean? If I'm doing something wrong, or if I'm doing too much of something, or I'm not doing enough of something,
Yeah.
just tell me, because I'm a person that I'm always willing to improve myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not perfect by any means, but just because I'm not perfect doesn't mean that I don't strive to do better in my life. You know, so
See, within these first few minutes of talking with you,
Mhm.
I've noticed a trend. You have a big heart,
Mhm.
and you like to try.
Yeah.
I've tallied down the
How many
number
times I
of
said
to try.
Mhm.
Now, when you try, sometimes you fail. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Is this a failure?
I only think I fail at something
When you
if I die. That's my thing. Like, as long as I'm living, I don't feel like I can lose at anything. Like, I'm a very, I don't know. I guess I'm just a competitive person. Like, I don't feel like people, or I don't feel like I fail at anything. I mean, I'm sure that I have shortcomings.
Right.
I'm sure that, you know, things may not work in my favor. You know, I'm learning to be an optimistic guy. You know what I mean? I just look, even when so much bad is in my face, I just look towards like my promised land. Like, no matter what's going on in my life or what's going to come in my life, you know, do I get scared? Yeah. You know, do I get nervous about things or shy away from some things? Yeah, but I just learn to keep moving on, keep going, because eventually it's going to work out, you know.
Okay, so what do you like to do in your free time? And hobbies, not just like work or
Yeah.
working out.
Mm.
Because I'm sure you might work out, but you don't enjoy it because it's boring or whatever.
I haven't even worked out in a
you
long
don't?
time, honestly. In a long time, but
So what do you like to do?
Honestly, in my free time, I'll either, listen to music or play music, like, piano. You know, I've actually started to get back into my studio software where I'm just kind of making my own music just from my personal thing, just challenging myself to just do better. I've been doing that here for the past few months.
Okay, has that been sort of an escape from the monotonous thought of I'm divorced, I'm alone? Has that been like an escape for you? Your music, listening to music, because I know for me, music is therapy, whether playing or listening.
I mean, music is my escape from the reality of life. itself. You know, if I'm down about anything, I mean, sometimes when I'm playing my music, I might cry. You know, sometimes when I'm playing my music, I might just do weird stuff like on my keyboard just to make it funny, or to make myself laugh. Like, why in the world am I even thinking that? Or, you know, people think that, you know, the music that I listen to is some of the weirdest music that, being honest, like a black person shouldn't even listen to.
Like what?
Like if I listen to Daft Punk, or if I listen to classical music where I'm listening to Bach or Mozart or something, or, you know, if I'm listening to country music, you know, if I listen to, you know, pop music, or sometimes I'll listen to, like, some of my favorite kind of music is listening to, I guess you call it soundtracks, like off movies.
Right.
Like, one of my favorite soundtracks, honestly, is the Titanic soundtrack, like, or the Avatar soundtrack. Like, those are like the instrumentation of an entire symphony or an orchestra. Like, that it just does something to my body. Of course, do I listen to hip hop from now and then? Of course, I mean, but when, you know, then that's just something just to get you going, you know, get you hype. I listen to it when I'm trying to get hype, or I'm trying to stay woke, driving on the highway at nighttime or something, or about to go play a basketball game. But, you know, when I need something to really get me away from things, I have to listen to music that I'm not even accustomed to, you know. So it's really a helping stone, or a stepping stone to getting back to where I need to be, just for a moment. You know, I never stop forgetting, or I never stop thinking about what happened or what could be, or this and that and other. But, you know, I just keep moving.
From my point of view, you are a very, very optimistic person.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't keep our head in the gutter all the time. We have to think there's another day, another opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, from your point of view, what is your outlook on life now? Now that things are kind of changed up.
Honestly, at the moment, I don't think about ever getting married again. I think marriage, for myself,
Is it difficult?
it's difficult to even think about trying to get back. I mean, because I've given probably like 15 years to one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was married to her for about 10 years.
At what age did you get married to?
I was 22, I think. 21 or 22. And she was probably 19 or 20, something like that. So, you know, in the midst of that, you know, we grew a lot. I mean, you know, she would say one of her things was she missed all of her 20s or something. You know, I don't know what that means, because I don't feel like I missed anything. I mean, unless I wanted to.
Now, did she say that she missed her 20s while she was with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a shot taken.
Yeah.
To me.
Right.
It was a
rifle to the boy head, you know, to my head. But it's okay, you know. But now I just, you know, my outlook on life is spending more time with my kids. You know, I've kind of, you know, not being where I needed to be spiritually, you know, because that kind of just played, you know, that's where I really find most of my strength. But I've kind of purposely took a step back. I'm getting back to where I was very slowly, but I'm definitely not where I once was. Just because I just, you know, I got kicked in the face, man, you know, so.
So you're not as concerned about it anymore. It happened.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm cool off of it. I'm all right now, you know. But as long as I got my kids, you know, I went down to the court and, you know, made sure that I was going to be able to see my kids how I wanted to see my kids, you know. I went down there to figure out child support issues and matters and all that, you know, so it wouldn't look like she controlled everything, you know. So I just made sure that my kids see me when they want to see me, and I see them when I want to see them, you know. And, you know, my outlet right now is keeping my kids in school, you know. I mean, in sports. They gonna say in school. But the more they stay in sports, you know, it keeps me busy. You know,
Right.
like my son has 2 games on Saturdays, 2 games on Sundays. You know, my daughter has a game tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. You know, so it's just things that I'm just going to consistently that keep me the thought of them, just seeing them smile. You know, when they do a good play or something, you know, it really just puts my mind at ease. You know, so
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you have to have some kind of motivation,
right. You know,
something to look forward to.
yeah, I like my job. My job appreciates me. You know, they tell me all the time, like, man, I'm one of the best supervisors that they've had. So I mean, hearing things like that, you know, even when I'm down, you know, even when I'm,
I mean, I can really see that
yeah, I mean,
just from this experience. You kind of real jubilant, real.
yeah, I mean, it's
excited.
Trust me, it's hard trying to. 'Cause most of the time, I gotta fake it. You know what I mean? When I'm at work, you know, because I have a lot of kids there that I work with that look up to me a lot, and you know, even when I'm hurting, you know, because sometimes there's still arguments. You know, there's still some differences that her and I have that I have to still carry on to work and still have to become a good leader. You know, still have to become a great influence in these kids' lives who don't have any parents. You know, whose parents might have abused them and things like that. You know, molested them and all that. I have to make sure that I'm a strong force in their life before they are back into the world. So when I see them succeed, I feel like I'm succeeding. You know, no matter what the hardships or the battles that I'm facing before I get to work or even while I'm at work. You know, when I see a successful moment in the kids' lives per day or or whenever, you know, that's what keeps my juices flowing. You know,
So if you don't mind me asking, what is it? What's your job title?
My title,
Supervisor, but
yeah, it's a program supervisor. So you want like a description of what I do?
yeah.
No, I mean I just well, first we work with youth who
It sounds like you guys work with trouble.
youth who have traumatic history.
Okay.
You know, so it could be molestations, it can be rapes, it can be abuse, it can be honestly, it can be parents selling their kids on the streets. You know, sex trafficking. You know, it could be kids who have been abandoned. It can be kids who have been neglected. A lot of things that they dealt with, I probably never have dealt with or probably would ever deal with. And they're only, let's say 8 to 16, 17 years old.
Right.
You know, there's kids who, and the things they deal with are the depression, the suicidal ideations, like that. They're thinking about suicide all the time. The kids who self-harm, the kids who cut themselves on their arms, on their legs, on their necks. They take strings and try to strangle themselves because they, at age 12 or 13, are saying, "I don't want to live." So it's our job to put counselors in place, to put therapists in place, to put DCS and CPS and all these sources, even myself, just in place of what they don't have. So, we try to build programs. We try to, even build schedules. They go to school where I work at. They live there. So we feed them, between 3 and 6 times a day, of course with like snacks in place and, definitely trying to keep them active. We have sessions and groups where, I'm talking to them about even like the girls who have who are there for sex trafficking. We teach them better boundaries, and teach them,
Like when to say no, or
how to say no, and
how.
and that they can say no.
Yeah.
Like they don't, you have to really break it down to them from beginning to end, because like they're brainwashed. You know, they don't know right from left sometimes. I mean, that's like a literal thing. Like when you like the youngest girl that I've seen there, who was there for sex trafficking, was 12 years old, and she already had a 2-year-old daughter. You know, that kind of did something to me. You know, why? Because I have a 12-year-old daughter now, and I can't imagine my 12-year-old daughter having a 2-year-old daughter. Like my daughter's mindset is not even thinking about sex. My daughter, she never even had a boyfriend. And I'm not saying that she hasn't had a liking to any boys, but and like she's open with me. She let me know, but she doesn't even have a boyfriend. And yet this girl has probably had sex hundreds of times.
Against her will.
Again, her father pimped her out. You know, sold her to her uncles and his friends. You know, over gambling bouts or something. You know.
Yes.
And she could barely speak English.
Wow.
You know, she was from like China or something like that. So I won't say too much, but
Yeah. Let's end it there. That topic.
yeah.
But as a whole, I think our session was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to know you a little bit. Told me a lot. So now I know a lot more about you. And what do you think about it in this session? How do you feel before and after?
I really feel good to be able to express things that I think about.
Yeah.
You know, things. So it's like this is like a true stress reliever. You know, I'm not sure what's going to come out of this, or like our next session if we have one.
Right.
I'm not sure what's going to come out of it, but just even this moment, I've never really got to talk to anybody about it. You know, not family, not any of my friends, even random people. You know, I haven't spoken really about it to anyone. I kind of just kept it to myself. You know, but like people say, man, it's a good thing to vent. I really do feel a lot better to be able to vent here today. So,
Well,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. I do believe there's lots of light at the end of the tunnel for you.
Yeah.
I really believe you're a good guy. Have good head on your shoulders.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you coming in.
All right.